rip it through the night. Savage force in sight. Fury fear, ready to ignite. Ransomer's wrath will slay with blind. Light from the string with fury. A symphony of fright. But through your experience, a boon display. And in chaos, we're here to stay. We'll shatter your eardrums, dominate the stage. A relentless onslaught, a metal rampage. Brutal madness, the true Yuri way. Crushing your bones, unleashing the decay. A monster of chaos will rise and reign. The tsunami experience, inflicting the pain. The tsunami experience, inflicting the pain.
Oh, it was muted on Discord for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. What's up, man?
Not much. Where is everybody?
Good question. I know. I think the usuals are coming in. Because I know Kyle asked me if I'm doing something tonight. I was like, yeah, we're still doing something tonight. And I think Ruben is coming on. I think, because I know he was asking me Sunday when we were recording our show if I was doing anything on Wednesday. I was like, yes, I'll keep you posted, and I let him know. I let him know I will still be here on Wednesday. So, other than that, yeah. But what's going on with you?
Not much. Enjoying life, living life. 4th of July's tomorrow, so can't wait for that.
Got any plans?
Working. I'm working, but just it's good. It's good to see everyone getting a day off.
Nice. Any sales going on at the store?
I had a sale this past weekend, so no sales for 4th of July.
Nice. How's the store going?
Good. Can't complain. It's good. It was good this past weekend. Yeah, the Sandlot actors came, so that was pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How late are you going to be open?
Till 6.
Till 6. Yeah. I will definitely try and swing by.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, tomorrow. Well, I mean, it's not just 4th of July. Tomorrow is the wife's birthday.
Oh, all right. Well, happy birthday to her, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, born on the 4th of July, like Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's
pretty cool. Oh, Tom Cruise was born on the 4th as well?
Actually, he was born on the 3rd, which is so weird.
So today's his birthday.
Today's his birthday. I mean, it's like the movie Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. But yeah,
yeah. I thought you meant he was. Yeah.
Yeah, but today he is a 62 and still doing insanely unsafe stunts. He just loves to pull off. But yeah, that's him. Yeah, just enjoying a few days off. Actually, starting next week, I'm going to get some new days off.
Oh wow!
Which aren't as different as they are now. I'm still going to be off Wednesday, but instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So it's definitely good for me. Like whenever we record on Wednesday, I don't have to like stress about I got to go to sleep at 11. I'm like, I can stay up and take my time editing the show and maybe.
Yeah, it starts next week.
Yeah. Well, technically, it goes into effect this weekend, going into next week. But yeah.
Well, technically, it starts tonight. Really, if you really want to think about it. But off tomorrow.
Yeah, so. But and it gives me time to do other things for the show. But
that's good.
Yeah. Other than that, just same old shit. Working. Looking at the NBA free agency period, which started on Saturday, right? Sunday. We've got Chris Paul.
Yep. I know you're not a huge fan of him, but I think it's good for.
Right.
I think it's good to have him just on a 1-year deal and kind of teach some of these players like how to play point guard with Wemby. So I'm cool with it. It's just for 1 year.
I mean, yeah, I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan, but I think this this definitely helps Wemby and also the two other point guards. It definitely helps Castle. Really does help Castle. It might even help Nunez. You never know what Nunez.
Nunez ain't gonna be a huge. I mean, like I can see him as a good bench player, but like he can't shoot, he can't defend. He's too small. He can pass really fucking well. Best pick and roll player in the draft, but outside of that, like he doesn't have anything yet. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he develops, but his ceiling's very small.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, he's it's definitely good for Wemby. A center like that needs that pick and roll point guard. So I mean, Chris Paul could maybe easily like average 10 assists per game next year, just lobbing it to Wemby. I'm sorry. But we'll see. So good for the Spurs. I know you're happy about this one. Klay Thompson going to the Mavericks.
No, I'm not. I'm not happy about that.
I saw that and I thought of you automatically. Lakers getting nobody except for JJ Redick as the new head coach.
Yep.
And LeBron's kid, Bronny, who I feel sorry for the kid, honestly, because he's getting a lot of unnecessary hate. And, like, I mean, the guy wasn't really that good in college, and he also did have cardiac arrest during a practice, so maybe that attributed to
I mean, he didn't really play in college. He's really good, but he just didn't get to play in college.
Right. So, I mean, I feel bad for the kid because he's under a large microscope. Because there's going to be people that are expecting him to be as good as his dad. And that probably won't happen. I mean, yeah, I root for the kid to be good. I'll just leave it at that. And, yeah, just, again, every year Laker fans expecting to get everybody in the fucking free agency pool, and they probably get one player. This year, I think they got DeMar DeRozan. Which
they did not. They haven't signed anybody yet. I mean, they haven't signed anybody significantly.
But didn't DeMar DeRozan announce he's signing?
I must have missed it because I didn't see anything.
Unless he changed his mind, and Spurs apparently look at Lauri Markkanen, which I don't think they're going to get him.
You don't think they're going to get him?
I don't know. Spurs are really never getting anybody big except LaMarcus Aldridge. That's probably like the last biggest.
I see the Spurs definitely to me as the favorites to get Lauri Markkanen.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to get him. But I don't know. Just, I guess, new regime now that you got Wemby, and Wemby has more worldwide appeal than like Tim Duncan did. And that's not to.
Yeah. I mean, plus it's a trade, so it's not the talent doesn't have any say where they're going.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a team. That'd be a hell of a matchup with Markkanen and fucking Wemby, and then you got Chris Paul running ship. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's all the basketball talk for tonight. As far as what's on the docket for tonight, as far as rest goes.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
What happened?
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead. MJF turned back heel. Thank you.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
MJF needs to be a heel. I did catch...
I think they got the breaking wind of it, and they kind of like turned him before. Now, that kind of sucks, though, because he's going to feud with Daniel Garcia? That kind of sucks.
Oy. Wolf.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that, but...
Oy.
But MJF's heel, so I'll take that. Anyway, go ahead.
I did see the Britt Baker and Mercedes promo. It was a pretty nice promo.
Are we recording already?
Yeah, why?
Are we live? I did not know. You didn't give us a countdown, a say, or anything, so I didn't know.
Oh no! I mean, I usually
we were just talking, so I didn't know.
I mean, I usually hit record whenever you jump on.
So we're live right now on Spreaker.
Well, I mean, we're on Discord. Spreaker's weird. For some reason, I can't broadcast live on Spreaker.
Oh, well, no, so the podcast already started, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, so.
But, I usually just cut this out whenever I do the 3, 2, 1, and then I say, welcome to the show.
Well, that's why I thought we were talking. Well, we'll just save it for the show, then. I don't want to,
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can definitely save it for the show. for any sports fans out there. But yeah, I did catch the Mercedes Brit promo. Pretty good promo. The crowd seemed like the crowd was very pro Brit and very anti Mercedes.
Yeah. I enjoyed the segment. I thought it was very good.
I mean, Mercedes is a natural born heel. She needs to be a heel. I mean, that's just how it is. Brit, revealing in her promo that she had, I don't know if she said like a mini stroke or just like a full on stroke. Whenever she was out, was just like, God damn, like that's tough. But I'm glad she's. I mean, again, granted, however I feel about her, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, like medical wise. So I'm glad she's fine. Glad she's back. She looks like she's in amazing shape. She looks like she hadn't really skipped a beat promo wise, but yeah, this is
she had like a mini stroke, man. That's tough.
Yeah, just that's that kind of hits home. We've had some family members that have dealt with that in the past. So when I hear that, it kind of like it does hit home a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm glad she's back. I mean, she is an integral part of AEW. She cuts good promos. So this is going to be an all-in match. As far as I know, this is like I think the first announced, unless I heard it wrong, all-in match.
Yeah.
So we got that.
And then the winner of the Owen Cup for the men wrestles Swerve, so which is probably gonna be Hangman.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He's back. He's angry. He's more pissed. He's more serious. So has a new theme song. So I'm kind of somewhat interested.
Why is he angry?
I mean, he got suspended from the Elite.
Okay.
He got suspended from the Elite, and and also as well the same thing that happened to him and Swerve in that feud. So he was gone for 3 months. 3 months of his livelihood was taken away.
Nice. As far as Forbidden Door goes, I watched the main event. That was literally the only link I can find for the show was the main event. I could not find a link for the rest of the show. I couldn't even find like someone at least put up highlights on YouTube. Couldn't find highlights. I know Britt Baker came back. But yeah, the main event I did watch. Not a bad match. Pretty good match. Some little things that I didn't like, but again, at the end of the day, it's AEW. It's for the modern wrestling fan, so I have to get used to it. But I mean, I should get used to it by now. But other than that, we can maybe get a little in depth into SmackDown, which we didn't really get a chance to do on Saturday. Talk a little bit about Raw, and then just do predictions for this weekend for Money in the Bank and NXT HEATWAVE. And didn't really find anything newsworthy. I don't know if you have any news articles.
Not really, no.
All right. So should be a relatively short show tonight. And a nice way to kind of, I guess, a go-home show for 4th of July tomorrow. But since, yes, we're already starting technically, 3, 2, 1. So welcome to the show, guys. It's Wednesday. It is the night before 4th of July, July 3rd. And you already know me. I'm Drew. And with me here, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
All right. And yeah, it's kind of going to be a very short and sweet show. We mainly about other shows, reviewing wrestling shows, SmackDown. Try to go a little bit in depth into that, about the points of interest, and then Raw, of course. Little NXT, if there's time, and then of course, reviewing the Forbidden Door pay-per-view on Sunday, and then of course the two events this weekend actually, Money in the Bank and HEATWAVE. NXT HEATWAVE, my bad. So let's kind of start with SmackDown a little bit, which the biggest bone of contention for SmackDown last Friday, June 28th, at Madison Square Garden, was the Bloodline storyline with, the Bloodline, which consisted of Solo and the two Tongas, and a newly added member of the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu, who he debuted in Chicago the week prior. The Bloodline came out and fought with Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Nice way to open the show. Nick Aldis had to throw out Orton, Rhodes, and KO after they beat up some security guys. Earlier in the night, Paul Heyman was asking Solo, where's Jacob Fatu? Solo assured him Jacob Fatu wasn't here. Later in the night, for the Bloodline coronation ceremony, Jacob Fatu came out with brand new music. And Solo basically just, wanted everybody to acknowledge him as their tribal chief. He gets to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has the, what do you call him, like the garb or whatever, the beads. And as he's about to put it on, he says, Solo, I love you, but I acknowledge you are not my tribal chief. Which Paul Heyman, the story came out that Paul Heyman purposely didn't sleep for, I think, a day, just so he can get the disheveled look down, which I thought that was brilliant. And after which, the Bloodline just beat the shit out of Paul Heyman and then powerbombed him through a table. And that's how the show ended. So overall, what did you think about the segment? What do you think about Jacob Fatu being a part of this new Bloodline and just everything that happened?
Well, excuse me. Thought the segment was tremendous. Jacob being part of the new Bloodline, as I mentioned before. I mean, I wouldn't go with that route. I will actually have him babyface, but whatever, but it's still good. Yeah, I thought Paul Heyman was tremendous. He didn't sleep, he didn't shave, he didn't dye his hair. So that added to this segment as well. One of the, I would say definitely, I think probably WWE segment of the year. I think it's probably up there. Well, best segment since WrestleMania. We'll just say that. Yeah, because WrestleMania was like a whole different beast. But yeah. I mean, it was good stuff.
Yeah, just if we're talking about handing out Emmys, like Paul Heyman definitely deserves an Emmy or just a nomination at least. Like, he is just that good. He's been very committed for almost a very tall task. Since Roman left, he's really just been kind of carrying this Bloodline thing with Solo. Because again, I like Solo, but Solo, I don't think he's that guy yet. I mean, at least not yet. I'll say that. And then Fatu, there was that worry from I think last month that Fatu was going to outshine Solo, and I think he kind of already has. And then two Tongans. So once Roman comes back, which I'm assuming is going to be after Money in the Bank, or maybe at more than likely SummerSlam, which I think is what they're aiming for, he's going to be the most over babyface in the company.
Yep. Going to be one of the biggest pops in history, I think.
Oh, yeah. That, wherever it is, that fucking building is going to lose its roof if it doesn't have a roof already. So, or if it, you know what I mean. But that was some good shit. Rest of SmackDown, like I mentioned, was in Madison Square Garden in New York City. Let me just kind of skim through the rest of the card. You had a triple threat to see who was going to be in the Women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Jade Cargill, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany won the match, as expected. And also, fun note: the opening segment was 25 minutes, so almost like the length of a sitcom. Next, Money in the Bank qualifier, you had Santos Escobar versus Logan Paul versus LA Knight. At ringside was Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry, from the New York Knicks. And Logan Paul came out with Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, which I called, which I was like, that's going to be great. I know there was people saying that it should be Trae Young, which I'm like, that's kind of old news. Right now, it would make more sense to add Tyrese Halliburton because it's more fresh in people's minds. And again, just Fox. I seriously cannot wait for WWE to be off of Fox already, because just all the fucking censoring, all the blackouts, like it would make more sense to just mute. Like, if you want to mute the crowd, that's annoying enough, but fine, I get it. But to just completely black out a segment because somebody in the crowd is flicking somebody off, or they have an offensive sign, like, that's just stupid as shit. Like, it was annoying as fuck. But yeah, Tyrese Halliburton came out, had a face-off with Jalen Brunson. What else happened? Oh yeah, LA Knight won the match. Decent triple threat. Afterwards, there was a face-off with, or no, what happened was Low Paul and Halliburton were, cornering LA Knight, and then Jalen Brunson came in with a steel chair, and the place went pretty nuts. So that was pretty cool. What did you think about that segment?
Well, good, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Great use of Brunson and Halley. And Logan Paul's a heat and magnet, and LA Knight's a concrete Mayface. So good stuff.
Nice. Also, I don't think we had a chance to cover this. So last week, it was announced that Sika of the Wild Samoans, who's also the father of Roman Reigns, passed away. He was 89, I believe? Or am I off? Oh, 79, I'm sorry. 79. And the story, the day after, his father passed away, Roman went to Children's Hospital to visit, sick kids, fans of his. So just hard on his sleeve type kind of guy with Roman when it comes to, the fans and also kids. But do you have any quick thoughts about Sika?
Definitely one of the pioneers in the style of tag team wrestling and the style of a Samoan savage. So, daughters with the NY family, gone, not forgotten.
Well said. Next is you have another triple threat qualifier for the Women's Money in the Bank. You had Blair Davenport, Indy Hartwell, and Naomi. Naomi won the match, during which you had Jade Cargill come out to kind of level the playing field for Indy Hartwell because she tried to fuck with her early in the night. But nonetheless, Naomi won, so Naomi's in the Money in the Bank. And yeah, that was pretty much the whole show. I mean, SmackDown was pretty enjoyable. A big chunk of it, was mainly dedicated to the Bloodline, which, as it should, because that's still the hottest, thing going on in the company. And, and also the Jalen Brunson and Halliburton shtick was fun to watch. So, what are your thoughts on SmackDown overall?
Very good show. Very good show. I thought this was possibly one of the best SmackDowns this year. Very good show.
Agreed. All right, so let's go to Forbidden Door, which another show in New York. It was in Elmont, New York, in the UBS Arena, June 30th. 11,000 in attendance. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, I only watched the main event. I was not able to find a link or anything to watch the rest of the show. So, let's see. There were, Jesus Christ, 5 pre-show matches. So let's kind of go through them real quick. There was a singles match with Kyle Fletcher versus Serpentico. That was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Thoughts on that?
We could just skip all this. We can just talk about the main event.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So main event. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Main event is you had a singles match with for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland, the champion, with Prince Nana versus Will Ospreay. The match was 27 minutes and 6 seconds. Again, I mentioned earlier, I actually thought this was a pretty good match. This is probably the best I've seen Swerve look in a match since, I guess, his whole AEW run. Or, I guess, more noticeably since he became champion. Good back and forth. The crowd was obviously into it. Ospreay doing his usual, going at 100,000 miles per hour shtick. And, I was kind of worried that there would be a clash in styles, since Ospreay is more athletic, and, Swerve is a mix of athleticism and, I guess, basic kind of chain wrestling, somewhat. But good back and forth action. Finishes were traded back and forth. A lot of false finishes. There was a bit where Don Callis gets involved and he gives Ospreay a screwdriver to go at Swerve, but Ospreay said no. Prince Nana came in and shoved Callis, and then Ospreay grabbed he grabbed Nana, and for a second it looked like he was going to get him with the screwdriver, but then realized, what am I doing? I can't. And then he tosses the screwdriver away. So there was that. Earlier in the match, there was a bit where they both jump on the rope at the same time and try to catch each other for a move, which that was match. Did not look very well. Luckily, both guys looked like they were okay, so good for that. After Ospreay rolls into the ring after the whole thing with the screwdriver, Swerve goes for his finisher. Ospreay kicks out, and for the next 2.5 minutes, it's just them trading false finishes. But after which, Ospreay can't go anymore, and then Swerve goes for his finish. 1, 2, 3. Apparently there was some, I don't want to say drama, but I guess there was like something surrounding the match where Ospreay went out of his way to make Swerve look good, because there's a lot of guys that didn't want to put Swerve over. Because I guess in their eyes, last year he was a mid-carder and now he's a main eventer. And Ospreay, Ospreay did the job. He's like, hey, he's the champion for a reason. I'm going to put him over. So, hey, good professionalism on Ospreay's part. But good match, good main event. Good showing for Swerve. I think maybe the best match he's had since champion. What did you think?
You pretty much covered it all. I really don't got anything to add. I mean, I definitely think this is one of the best matches that AEW's put on this year. Not match of the year, I don't think it's that, but I think it's definitely, maybe a top 10, top 15 match that AEW's put on this year. So, but I mean, don't really have anything to add. You pretty much covered it all. So
nice. And as for the rest of the card, let me just kind of go over it real quick, and you can chime in. There is MJF versus Hechicero. Is that how you say it?
Hechicero.
Hechicero in a singles match. He won. MJF won. It was 9 minutes and 51 seconds. You had a trios match. The Elite versus the Acclaimed. And Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Elite one. It was 13 minutes and 1 second. And then you had a men's Owen Hart Cup tournament first round match. You had Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. He won by submission. It was 20 minutes and 19 seconds. Yeah,
excellent match, by the way.
It's Danielson, so I would imagine.
Well, I mean, Takagi's great too.
Yeah. Tony Storm with Luther versus Mina Shirakawa.
We're not going to do that to Mina Shirakawa. That's the woman in the AEW roster. Well, she's not part of the AEW roster, but all right. Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa. Yeah, you gotta show your respect to her.
Mina Shirakawa. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May was at ringside in support of both participants. Timeless Tony Storm won. It was 11 minutes and 42 seconds. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Orange Cassidy by submission. In a singles match, it was 16 minutes and 22 seconds. Another trios match, Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Katsuyori Shibata defeated the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho and Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb with Brian Keith by pinfall. It was 14 minutes and 2 seconds. What do you think about Jericho's new thing?
The less said, the better.
All right, just curious. Next is you had a ladder match.
How you feel about it?
I mean, it's Jericho. I'll just put it that way. I haven't been a big Jericho fan in a while. I mean, I loved Jericho in WWE. I love the list, and then when he came to AEW, just surely he just became a parody of himself. So he has go away heat with me, and just I find it funny, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you will. But I find it fun. I just find it funny and just disturbing how he was accused of sexual harassment, and now he's doing a gimmick where he's basically kind of mocking it.
Is he mocking it?
That's what I'm hearing.
Who are you hearing that from? Have you seen anything about the gimmick? Or
I've seen clips, and it's just him trying to be funny and trying to be like, "Hey, everyone likes me." But I
don't. I mean, I'm not a fan of the gimmick, but at all. Like, I pretty much despise it, but I don't see where we get sexual harassment.
I don't know, but yeah, just anything with Jericho, I don't.
Whoever told you that is completely wrong.
Okay,
the gimmick just sucks. That's all.
All right, the less said about there, like you said. Ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship: Jack Perry and Takashita, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and El Phantasmo. Jack Perry won. He's now the new TNT champion. You have any quick thoughts on that?
Good ladder match. Very good ladder match.
All right. Winner takes all for the AEW TBS Championship and the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vacker. Is that how you say her name?
Vakir.
I heard good things about this match. I heard Vakir had a pretty good reaction. And Mercedes went out of her way to make her look good. So,
yep. I mean, they both did excellent. I thought Vakir was a little bit more impressive, but yeah, very good match though.
And then, as we discussed earlier, Britt Baker made a return. So cool. Singles match for the IWGP World Heavyweight, the last match was 16 minutes and 51 seconds. Singles match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship: Tetsuya Naito defeated Jon Moxley by pinfall. So Naito is the new IWGP World Champion.
I love Naito. I really do. Good match.
All right. And then
wasn't great, but it was good.
And we already talked about the main event. So, what's your overall letter grade, number grade for the Forbidden Door?
7.5 out of 10.
All right, fair enough. All right, Monday Night Raw. Let's talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw. The Judgment Day up to their usual shenanigans. With Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan still teasing Dom and wanting Dom all to herself. Dedicating everything she does to Dom. She had a match with Zelina Vega for the Women's World Championship. Maybe the best match I've seen Zelina have. Overall. Maybe.
I mean, I like her match better with Rhea Ripley at Backlash last year. Still a good match, but I just like the other match better.
I mean, that match wasn't bad. I just think the moment was bigger. The fact that she was in, Puerto Rico. But, agree to disagree. But I thought maybe this was one of her better showings against Liv. I mean, pretty much a lot of what was surrounding the match was the stuff with, Judgment Day, Liv Morgan. Rey Mysterio came out, because Rey and Dom had a match later. And then, Liv won, as she should have. Because there was a spot in the match where Dom throws a steel chair to Zelina because he wants, Zelina to win, to beat Liv. And then Zelina just grabs a chair and just chucks it at Dom's head, which I thought was kind of funny. And then, Liv, goes for, was it, what's the name of her fucking move?
Oblivion.
Oblivion, there you go. She wins, and now she's still the Women's World Champion. And then later on the night, you had Dom and Rey, a rematch from WrestleMania last year. Again, just more gaga surrounding the match. And there was a bit in the match where Liv gets knocked off the apron and then she falls on Dom, so she's on top of Dom. And Dom gets back in the ring. Rey goes for 619, goes for his off the top rope move, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And just more Judgment Day stuff. Finn mad at Damien because Damien, for a promo he did last week where he said the Judgment Day need me more than I need them. For the stipulation at Money in the Bank with Seth, meaning that if Damian loses, he has to leave Judgment Day. And he said, that's fine because they need me more than I need them. And, Damian and Finn, the seeds are pretty much planted at this point that, Finn's going to turn on Damian and that maybe Liv is going after Finn and that she's just using, Dominic as bait. But overall, what do you think about this whole thing going on with Judgment Day and Liv? And
yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious what's going to happen. I mean, Liv is going to implode the Judgment Day from within. Finn and Damien are going to have a match against each other at some point in time. So yeah. I mean, when Rhea comes back, we'll see what that development goes with Dom and Dom and Rhea and Dom and Liv. Early prediction. I think Dom is just gonna turn on Rhea and and just go full on heel because I can't see him as a babyface right now. So
I think that works better.
Babyface, so
yeah, Rhea's gonna be fucking super over as a bit. Rhea and Roman, when they come back, they're gonna be super over babyfaces. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I guess kind of side note. Speaking of baby faces, Cody. I know it's more than likely not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe not this year, probably next year. Maybe we'll see. But there's been talk of Cody being a heel. I know Undertaker on his podcast talk, said that Cody would work better as a heel because when you're doing the happy-go-lucky, bit, people get sick of it, which is true. I mean, look at Hogan. Cena, they want him to be a heel bit. It never happened. But Hogan is obviously the best example. Bret Hart, kind of, sort of. And then Cody did I guess, he did a promo for the show The Boys on Prime where the character of Homelander, which is basically evil Superman, which, there's all these memes of Cody being Homelander because, he comes out in like his usual jacket and he looks like Homelander, basically. And I even made a meme of him as Homelander, call him Roselander. And, Cody even acknowledged it. Well, he didn't acknowledge my tweet, but he acknowledged it on the show. I'll go full on Homelander and rip your throat out, he said to Paul Heyman. And he actually did a promo for the show The Boys where he actually wore the character Homelander's cape just to hype up the show, and he said, Homelander, what do you want to talk about? And then his eyes, glowed red. So, do you see that as a possibility sometime later in the future of Cody being a heel?
Yeah, but not now. He's like the Cena of this generation. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Oh no, that's what I meant. Like, obviously not this year because he's Captain America, but like sometime later down the line, maybe like a year and a half from now or 2 years, you have a face Roman Reigns.
We'll see.
You have a over as Jesus babyface, Roman versus a heel hated, Cody Rhodes. Like that's, another main event, Cody and Roman part 3, except the roles are reversed. So that'd be pretty cool. So where was I at? Oh yeah. More Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas stuff. So the week prior, Nikki Cross, but she's not really Nikki Cross. She's somebody. I guess she's Sister Abigail. She gave a tape to Michael Cole last week to play, and it was Bo Dallas, talking to Uncle Howdy, but they're really the same person. And it was an interesting promo. It was a good promo. It was good. You got to hear Bo talk from the heart, and he was a broken man. Uncle Howdy asked him, how did it feel when your brother died? And, Bo said, it felt like the most important thing in my life was taken away from me. And I was a little surprised that they went that way. I mean, I knew this was going to be a Bray Wyatt tribute, essentially, but I really didn't know that they were really going to add the death of Bray in this. So I thought that was pretty bold. And again, it was a good promo. This week, it was kind of a continuation of that therapy session, if you want to call it that, where Nikki gave Michael Cole another tape, another VHS. He played it. I actually have the transcript here, just so I know what I'm talking about. So it went like this. Bo Dallas asked, how much longer are we going to keep doing this? What are we even doing here? Uncle Howdy said, do you honestly believe you're in the right? Bo said, I was destined to do this. Uncle Howdy said, do you think you're special? Bo said, special implies that others are not, but others that are less than deserve to be forgotten. We were the ones that everyone wanted to forget about. We were the ones that everybody abandoned. We made them notice us. Howdy asked him, there you are. There you are. How do you believe you can bring them in life? And Bo said, no one chose, just willing, clay in the hands of the potter, dye in the flash to become something beautiful. They become a family. We've become a family. Even now, there's false prophets parading around, belittling their family for their own gain. It's disgusting. They must pay for their sins, and you think this is your responsibility? I am the voice of the reckoning. I am the reckoning. I am nobody. It's saying Bo and Uncle Howdy said this at the same time. I am nobody. I set me free. I free me from the cave. I am nobody. I gave them a family. I made them beautiful. I am the reckoning. I set them free. There you are. So that was the transcript from that promo. Thoughts on the whole therapy sesh with Uncle Howdy and Bo?
Beautifully produced, awesome, very cryptic. Can't wait to see what's next.
I had to clear my throat. Let me ask you something. And again, I know I just said I enjoyed it, but I just want to gauge your thoughts on this. Do you think this would have been better if this came out before the Wyatt 6 debut?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking that because I heard different people kind of talk about it. But so I guess that kind of explains why they're going after Chad Gable so much, because Chad Gable, treated his Alpha Academy family like shit. I mean, he's still trying to kiss up to him. He's telling Otis, I need your help, and I know you hate me. And Otis is like, I don't hate you. It's just, this is your problem. You got to deal with this on your own. And it's interesting that Jey Uso is kind of not really a part of it, but I guess part of it. I don't know. That's kind of weird because he's more than likely going to be a part of this bloodline thing, this bloodline civil war. That's more than likely going to culminate at War Games. But yeah, I mean, their whole thing is we're after people belittling and using their families problems for personal gain. So I don't know who else do you see a part of this besides not Otis but Chad Gable?
I'm not sure. I don't think they really have came down to that as of yet. But definitely Chad Gable. I mean, maybe Jay, but I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't know.
All right. As for the rest of the show, you had Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross. Kross doing his best Sean O'Hara impression from 2003, if anyone remembers that reference. The whole bit is Kross is trying to convince Woods to leave Kofi. Woods gets the win with a roll-up. Afterwards, the rest of the I was going to call him the Reckoning, not the Reckoning. Again, I'm blanking. My mind's in the
Final
fritz.
Testament.
Final Testament. There you go. My mind's in the fritz today, people. They beat the shit out of the rest of the New Day. Kross getting some heel heat, so good for Kross. I like Kross. And then there was a bit that I wish they didn't turn away from, where Kross reaches his hand out to Woods, saying, shake my hand. It's 5 against 1. It's 5 against 1. So shake my hand. And they cut away. I'm like, why'd they cut away? And then we were talking about Zelina and Liv. Judgment Day issues interrupt Seth Rollins. Yeah, Seth Rollins came out to hype up the match. Seth kind of being the shit stir and talking down to Finn, saying that pretty much that Finn is the lackey and he's not the bigger star of Judgment Day. And then Finn beats up Seth, and then Damian has to pull Finn off. He helps him to the back and then tells Finn, I appreciate you having my back out there, but I'm going to need you to stay away from our championship match this weekend. So, kind of similar to their last match.
Yep.
Which is just like, okay. But yeah. Money in the Bank qualifier, Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. Zoe Stark got the win. I was a little baffled because there's a lot of people online that were really angry that Zoe Stark won, which I didn't get why. Like they were,
Yeah, I didn't understand either.
like they were very pro Dakota Kai. And again, I like Dakota Kai, but it's like,
Yeah, for sure. She
Yeah,
deserves opportunity, but
right, like Io's in the match, so I didn't think they were gonna have two.
exactly.
Yeah, they were gonna have two different people, and they actually did kind of play off of that in a backstage segment where I think it was Kathy Kelly asking, Dakota Kai, are you sad that you weren't in the match? And then Io's kind of giving her that stink eye of like, answer the question, Dakota. So she kind of backpedals.
Yeah, I mean, Dakota's going to end up becoming babyface, and she'll start her singles run from there. So,
right, and just again, I like Zoe. People we know, friends of ours, friends of the show, were like very like, oh, why does Triple H love Zoe Stark so much? And it's like, what did you guys think was going to happen? Like, come on, like, be realistic, guys. Zoe deserves this shot. Zoe's pretty much going to be calling traffic control in this match. Like, she's going to be the workhorse of the match. She's not going to fucking win. Like, Zoe's not going to win. Like, period. Even if Dakota was in the match, she wouldn't have won. So, just, I don't know. People are weird. I'm sorry. Just people are weird. But yeah. So, good for her. We already talked about the Uncle Howdy stuff. We talked about Ray and Dom. Ray won. Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. Braun Breaker will be wrestling Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank, which we'll talk about in a bit. Pretty much, Braun goes without saying, like, Braun sounds like Uncle Scotty and Russell's like his daddy. Braun's a star. He's over as fuck. And I know that term gets thrown around very loosely to a lot of people, but Braun is over. You hear the people in the audience, do the dog pound chant. And Braun telling Sammy, last week you got my respect, but this Saturday at Money in the Bank, all that respect goes out the window because I'm beating your ass. And they have a big schmoz, afterwards where Braun spears him not just once but twice. So I didn't get a chance to watch the Steiner Brothers A&E doc. I want to watch that. Heard good things, but overall, what'd you think about this segment with Braun and Sammy?
Good build up for the match. Should be a great match on Saturday.
Right. And now we got the main event, which is another Money in the Bank qualifier. You had Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov versus Drew McIntyre. Fantastic match, as we all expected. Three bruisers. Well, I guess not bruisers, but three European heavyweights. And, yeah, you can throw Ilya as a heavyweight. Ilya is believable as a smaller guy. He can work with anyone, whether it's his size, smaller, or bigger. It's just three European guys just beating the air living dog shit out of each other. And I was here for it. Drew McIntyre, before the match, gave the bracelet that he stole from CM Punk that has the names of AJ and Larry to Michael Cole. Again, good back and forth action. This is a pay-per-view match. This is a pay-per-view quality match on anything. We just happened to get it on free TV. There was a point where Ilya got thrown out of the thrown over the barricade, so he was kind of done for the night essentially. So it was down to Drew and Sheamus, like old times. But Drew got the win, and afterwards he just takes the bracelet back. So Drew is going to be in Money in the Bank, which we will talk about pretty soon. And overall, what'd you think about the what'd you think about the main event?
Great main event. All three look fantastic. Ilya, they're putting Ilya in this position to get him even more over, which is working right. And Ilya's going to be a single star. He's going to be a guy for the future in WWE, future world champion. The next few years. But so yeah, I thought this was a tremendous main event, and Drew winning was the right decision.
Exactly. All right, so that was Raw. Raw was pretty good. I mean, Raw is usually very good. Let me ask you something, because I don't think we had a chance to talk about this. So, as we all know, Raw goes to Netflix in January. We don't know an exact date. NXT, I think the date for the CW debut is October 1st, if I'm not mistaken. We don't have an what was that?
Something like that.
Yeah. And then SmackDown. I'm not sure when SmackDown's gonna be on USA. I think it's around the same time when it goes to USA. When Raw goes to Netflix, we just know it's in January. We don't know an exact date. But do you see Raw being shorter? Maybe like 2.5 hours, 2:15.
They can definitely do that, possibly.
Right, because it's going to be adless, unless depending on what Netflix tier you have, where you got the ones with ads, we got the ones with no ads. So,
I mean, it's just gonna be similar to Peacock. So when they say ads, no ads, like you really got to use your brain on it. It's not like, well, it could be a couple things. One, instead of them like going to like a regular commercial, kind of like what AEW does, they have like a separate simulcast where you just continue to watch Smash. That's number one. Or number two, kind of like when there are promos, like in between matches or whatnot, or when there's like a break between something, they will actually show like an actual promo or a highlight package of somebody, kind of like what they do on the PLEs. And if you don't have the premium subscription to Peacock, they'll show like actual commercials. I can see a similar thing. Netflix doing a similar thing.
And then Triple H announced that on Netflix they will be uncensored. There will be no cutting off the crowds, muting the crowds, blackouts. They will be free to say whatever they want. So I don't know. Whatever that. I mean, obviously, I don't think they're going to go too overboard, where you're going to have Cody come out and say fuck, fuckity, fuck for like 5 minutes. There's going to be free reign to be more edgy. But I think a lot of like the fucks are going to be saved for like the bigger stars. Like obviously The Rock can do whatever the fuck he wants. And it's funny because I was watching that YouTube special about the WrestleMania main event, which I don't know if you had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I saw it. The Rock just basically saying like, "Oh, I was the one that I was the one that pivoted this main event. It was all my idea."
Of course it was, Dwayne. But yeah, I mean, The Rock's a smart guy. He knows how business works because he even said like, "Okay, we can either go with our main event, which is going to be huge, but I don't want to upset that small portion of the audience that wants Cody to be in the main event that he deserves." So again, it's just The Rock being like obviously smart, but also like I don't want people to boo me for the wrong reasons. Like if I'm going to be a heel, you're going to boo me for the right reasons. So
I truly believe that The Rock. I'll just say this: it was definitely an ego thing.
Oh yeah.
Say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of just said that. Like for The Rock, like he doesn't want to get booed for the wrong reasons. Like he'd rather get booed for the right reasons, like wrestling related reasons. So, so yeah, that good documentary. Had no idea it was as chaotic as we kind of figured. Yeah, but still very entertaining. It's on YouTube, people. So go watch it if you have a chance. What else I was gonna say? But yeah, The Rock will pretty much have free reign to do whatever the fuck he wants. I think Cody, if he ever does appear on Raw, which I think he should, because he's the top guy right now, he's gonna have free reign to say whatever he wants. Roman. Yeah, it's I don't know. Can't wait for January to see what happens. NXT, the go home for NXT. We'll talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll get into predictions. There was a street fight with Mia Yim, and Jada Parker. Very entertaining. There was a bit in the match where Michin really ate a fucking steel chair. Like, oof. That was rough to watch. Yeah, Michin, Mia Yim, whatever you want to call her, like she's a tough girl. Like she knows how to take a steel chair to the head. I'll give her that. Just don't want to see her do it as much. But good back and forth action. Parker is really high on their radar. They do love them some Jada Parker. I love me some Jada Parker, and I think working with Mia Yim is maybe the best thing for her because they kind of match up, size wise and also character wise. But yeah, Parker got the win, so much deserved to her. What'd you think about the match?
Very good, very fun match. I know both those ladies are very sore as of right now, as I'm speaking. So, but Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. Very, very good match. I actually should have been at HEATWAVE if you ask me, but
I
yeah.
agree. I very much agree. But I guess they needed a big match for their go home show. So
Yeah, no, I get it.
Another match after this. You had New Catch Republic versus Hank and Tank, which wasn't a bad match. But it was a match. I'll just say it like that. New Catch Republic got the win, as we all kind of figured. Next is you had Izzy Dane versus Brinley Reese. Dane got the win. I don't know if I mentioned this on Saturday. So there's a recent, I don't know if it was a pay-per-view or just one of their regular tapings, but you had some more NXT people show up at Impact. Izzy Dane being one of them, and she came out to wrestle Jordan Grace. So cool. But yeah, Izzy Dane got the win here. Lola Vice cuts a pretty interesting promo to kind of kickstart, not kickstart, but I guess ahead of their the match she has with Roxanne this weekend. She cut a very emotional promo, which I didn't really see coming. She talked about, when her mom was pregnant with her mom was at a black belt tournament. And, Lola just getting very emotional talking about it. And, even when she leaves the ring to dance, she's still crying, which I thought that was kind of strange at first, but then I got it. I was like, all right, I get it. But yeah, it was a pretty good promo from Lola. It's kind of good to hear her talk from the heart. I mean, I think with every wrestler, it's interesting to hear them talk from the heart and show their human side every now and then. To kind of go, okay, that right there. But do you have any thoughts on Lola's promo?
I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, it came from the heart, so I don't have no issues with it.
She explained that she dropped out of the Olympic training to support her mother when she got sick. And, she didn't really dive too much into that. She said focusing on winning the championship. So, nice promo. Wesley cut a very fiery promo about the North American Championship, what it means to him as the shadow of Obafemi slowly engulfed him, and basically just talking about their match this week. Let's see. Ora Mensa with Metaphor versus Miles Bourne of No Quarter Catch Crew. Jesus, that's definitely a tongue twister. Mensa got the win, and Mensa calling out Ethan Page, so they still got their feud going. Wendy Chu versus Carly Bright. It's kind of funny. There's a little exchange on Twitter where Wendy Chu was telling Carly Bright, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then she tagged Kelly and said, I'm gonna kick your daughter's ass, and then Kelly replied, being like, I gotta get back in the ring and help my daughter out. So I don't know where the whole Carly Bright Kelly thing is coming from. Is Carly Bright related to Kelly in any way, or does it have any affiliation with her?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, so. And then they showed a backstage bit with Wendy Chu and Tatum Paxley where they were holding hands and now they're best friends. So that's an interesting tandem. Carmen Petrovich versus Jasmine Nix with JC Jane. JC Jane still sporting the mask. It was good for what it was. Nix got the win. And Shawn Michaels actually addressed the actions of Brooks Jensen. Asked him to sit down with the NXT general manager next week to steer him in the right direction. So they're acknowledging Brooks Jensen finally. And then you had the contract signing for the Fatal 4-Way with Trick Williams.
They're treating Brooks Jensen like they're trying to turn him into Hangman.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
That's what it feels like to me, at least. Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that meme. Can I have Hangman? We already have Hangman at home. It's Brooks Jensen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then he had the contract signing to hype up the Fatal 4-Way this week. Trick Williams and Javon Evans, Sean Spears, and All Ego Ethan Page. Again, this is basically just used to hype up the Fatal 4-Way. Javon Evans looked pretty good out there. He's feeling a lot more comfortable on the mic. holding his own with Trick Williams and two veterans. So good for him. I like Evans. I like Evans.
He's naturally charisma. It sounds like when he's talking, I like his sensibility when he's talking. It just sounds like he's talking with friends, or like he's talking like as him. It doesn't sound like he's kind of wrestling promo. I hate when wrestlers sound like they're kind of wrestling promo, which sounds stupid, but
no, not good.
But yeah, like when you sound like when you cut a wrestling promo, it's like, oh man, it's like you're taking the realism out of it for me.
I get you, because like, you know, I guess for some people it works doing the wrestling promo where it's like, I'm angry, like, you know what Evans kind of reminds me of? This just kind of dawned on me. He reminds me of Van Damme when he talks, where like Van Damme.
That's my way, yeah.
Yeah, Van Damme was very like, dude, like he was very much like laid back and just himself. Like when you heard Van Damme talk, it sounded like, Robert the Man talking, and not just, Rob Van Dam the character. Or like Jeff Hardy. Same thing. Like it just sounded like people just having a conversation. Yeah, you're right. Like that's, for a lot of people that works better. For some, again, I'm comparing two different people, but like, it works differently for someone like John Cena, who goes out there and has to be Super Cena and Captain America all in one. And, for The Rock, it's a little bit of him with the volume turned up to 10. Someone like Steve Austin, I guess, is a good example of that sounds like the person more than the character. Yeah, I do like Evans. I like him more and more every time I see him. It just seems like a naturally chill guy. So, and they obviously love him up there. But that was NXT, people. What happened on Dynamite tonight?
Dynamite was I'll just say this. Dynamite was a very, very good show tonight. I will say that. I think it was one of their better Dynamites for sure this year. I think a lot of things that they did was very good. Very good tonight. I thought, well, I mean, MJF turning heel, I mean, that's going to be the talking point for everybody. So that's good. Obviously, he's heel. Apparently, a lot of people, I don't know if it's official, but apparently Mercedes part of the Elite. I didn't see that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Heyman coming back, a more dark, brooding Hangman. I think he's heel. I guess he's heel now, but kind of like that. The Jericho segment, being up on Hook and Samoa Joe and Shibata. I like the segment. Still don't like the gimmick, but I thought it was very effective in the beatdown at least. So there's that. But and also Will Ospreay leaving the Don Callis family, and he's gonna end up getting scored by Don Callis at one point in time. And of course, Mercedes and Britt Baker first face to face with each other. I thought it was a thumbs up. I thought it was gonna fail.
That was good.
But it was good. It was good. I gotta give it to both ladies. And what else happened? Oh yeah. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Good match that they had there. I like both the ladies, obviously. So and Statlander wins. So yeah.
Going back to the Britt and Mercedes thing, like I think what made it work was kind of what always makes any a good feud work is when you can tell that there's realism in it.
Yep.
Like you can tell that both ladies maybe don't like each other all that much. I don't want to go as far as saying hate each other.
I mean, I wouldn't speculate on that, but
well, yeah, but it's just you can maybe tell there's maybe an inkling of that. There's always an inkling of truth in any like great wrestling promo. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, that was a really good promo. I liked it as surprisingly more than I thought I would. The crowd very pro Brit, and booing Mercedes, which again, Mercedes is a natural heel. She pie-faced Brit and tells her get in the back of the line, bitch. And then Brit says bitch. There's no line.
Right.
So that's I guess I don't know if it's official, but that's going to be one of the first big matches of All In. So
yeah.
So nice. Again, I like admitting when I'm wrong, and I'll give anyone credit when they do something I think is good. So good for them. Applause. You can't hear it, but there's
Yeah.
applause. But-
Mercedes has crib control. That's what she said, at least. So I don't know. I mean, you can't really give talent crib control, but so far she hasn't really done anything that's like damning. Like, oh my god, this is fucking terrible. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
I don't like talent that has creative control.
Well, I don't either, but
Yeah, I hate that. I hated it in WCW when Hogan had creative control.
well, I'll say this: Daniel Bryan had creative control in WWE in his second run. You don't remember him having creative control with the with the Plants Championship and all that stuff? He had creative control for that.
I'm more talking about someone that has creative control that can affect, things that they shouldn't affect. Like something like that with Daniel Bryan, who's able to kind of own his own gimmick and use a little bit of himself in that gimmick.
No,
that's a good example.
He had creative control on who he can work with.
Okay, that makes sense because Daniel Bryan is not like this is probably going to be a conversation we can have all night, but like that, I think that's a good example of creative control, in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
Where it's like, I want to work with this guy. I want to work with this guy, not this guy, and yada, yada, yada. And in the end, he put over Kofi, and, that was one of the biggest moments in WrestleMania history. So, but, just overall, creative control, I don't like it, but I think if you're going to use it to where it's not just benefiting you, but it's benefiting everybody else. That's just my opinion. But, all right, so Money in the Bank is this Saturday. Now let's talk about Money in the Bank. It's going to be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in the Scotiabank Arena, July 6th. So far, there are 5 matches, which I think that's just kind of how it's going to be. So let's talk about these matches, Justin. Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's contract. Men's contract for champion of their choosing. Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre.
Well, let's talk this out. Carmelo, love you. You ain't winning.
Nope.
Andrade, possibly dark horse, but I don't think you're winning either.
Nope.
Chad Gable, you're not winning. LA Knight, you're gonna get Logan Paul. So it comes on Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, and also as well. Here's the other thing too as well. You're not going to have 2 Raw wrestlers or 2 SmackDown wrestlers win Money in the Bank. Reason being is because you're going to need to have the Money in the Bank on one show versus the other, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
One of each. But in this particular case, we're not going to have Money in the Bank on Raw, because Drew McIntyre is going to win and Drew McIntyre is going to cash in at the end of the night. So, or maybe I don't even know if that's going to be main event or not. But he's going to main event. He's going to cash in against Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. So that's going to happen.
So you kind of took the words out of my mouth. So yeah, Drew's definitely winning. Realistically, nobody else on this nobody else in this match is winning.
Jey Uso has a chance, but I don't think he's winning.
No, kind of like pretty much what you just said, But yeah, just Drew's winning. Drew's winning, and I'll kind of save my thoughts for the Damian Priest match. Actually, you know what? Yeah, Drew's going to win. I'll save my thoughts for the Priest match, which I think we kind of have an agreement on what's going to happen with that. Money in the Bank ladder match for the Women's Championship contract for a champion of their choosing. Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. It's not going to be Io, which I wouldn't be mad if it was Io again.
No, it's not Io. Well, I mean,
it's going to be Tiffany.
I wouldn't be mad. I would be a little upset because why waste a Money in the Bank on Io when she's already been champion, like majority last year, number 1 and also number 2. She's already well established enough to where she doesn't need Money in the Bank to, she could get another title shot without Money in the Bank.
Yeah, no, I get you. Tiffany's winning. That's kind of my pick. Again, Zoe's not winning. I don't know why everyone's still up in arms about Zoe in it. Naomi's not winning. Naomi is probably going to do something crazy in the match. Lyra, I would say maybe as a second choice, but I don't see her winning. Chelsea, I love her to death, but I don't see her winning. I'm glad she's in it, but she's not going to win. So yeah, Tiffany's my choice.
I got Tiffany, but I'm not counting out Chelsea Green. I'm just not counting her out. I really think that they will probably want to start training a little bit more seriously because she is over shit with the crowd too.
Agreed.
Now, I think Tiffany needs it more, obviously, because Tiffany has the higher upside, obviously, and Tiffany's just fantastic. So I definitely think Tiffany should win, and needs to win, and has to win. And I'm picking Tiffany, but all I'm saying is just don't count out Chelsea Green.
I would love, again, I agree with you. Like, I do love Chelsea. Like, Chelsea's over. She had that match with Roxanne, I think, last month. And it was a really good match, and it showed that, Chelsea can work. So she's been great for years. But I know that,
yeah. She's just devolving into a comic character. Not a bad thing that she's a comic character, but
right.
that's what she is.
Right.
A comic character right now, because that's her strong suit. Her strong suit is a comic character, so.
Right, and it works for her, but it's just, I don't know, to me, there's that, I don't want to sound like Jim Cornette, but it's just like, there's more to her than that. Like, it's like with our Truth. Our Truth is going to be in this company until the day he dies, because he is well liked, everyone loves him, but once upon a time, Ron Killings was like, showing out in NWA, TNA, he was the first black, NWA world champion. Gets to WWE, they try to do a serious thing with him, didn't work, and then the comedy got him over. And again, not a bad thing. He's been able to keep a job in this company for 16 years, and people love the shit out of him. You never hear a bad word about Ron Killings. Same thing with Chelsea. You never hear a bad word about Chelsea. But I don't know. To me, I want to see more out of Chelsea than just comedy. Like, they need to take her seriously. So, wouldn't be opposed if Chelsea won. I think it makes more sense for her to win. But I also think Tiffany maybe needs it more. So, but gun to my head, I'm going to say Tiffany. That's my choice. You chose Tiffany, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. It's got to be Braun. Like, Braun's ready. He's over his shit. Loves Sami. Doesn't need the title that long. He had his moment at Mania against Gunther. He doesn't need to be champion for longer than how he has it now. Braun is the guy now. Sami, had his moment. He'll be fine. He won't lose anything. Well, I mean, he'll lose the title, but he won't lose any, I guess any respect from the fans or anybody in the office if he loses to Braun. Like, this is Braun's moment. Braun is next big thing, like Brock Lesnar was 22 years ago. So, Braun's going to win.
I wouldn't count Sami out. I just wouldn't. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Braun is 100% winning. Now, I am still picking Braun. That's my official prediction, but I just wouldn't count them putting Sami over here. Well, where they go from here after that, I don't know, but I just wouldn't count out Sami winning. But Braun is my prediction, though.
Right. So, do you think if Sami wins, they're gonna run it back at SummerSlam?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Next is you had a 6-man tag match: Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Any three of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. I'm thinking Solo's gonna sit it out because this whole thing is on the Tribal Chief. So you guys got to do my bidding for me, essentially. So it's gonna be Tama and Tonga, or Tama and Tonga, Tama and Loa and Jacob Fatu. I imagine this is gonna be a fun match. I mean, you can't really go wrong with 6-mans. It's gonna be interesting to see Jacob Fatu in action against Cody and Randy and Kevin Owens. I would love to see a Kevin Owens and Jacob Fatu feud. That'd be dope. I have a feeling Kevin Owens is going to eat the pin. Just to kind of set up, just kind of make the Bloodline look stronger. And this could also be a way to set up Randy and Cody at SummerSlam. But I don't know. The rumor is that they want to do Cody and Solo, which I don't see happening, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that happening.
Okay.
I actually got Solo pinning Cody in this match.
Interesting. But, so you're going with the Bloodline?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I went with the Bloodline, too. Next is, what I'm assuming is the main event. Could be. Last chance match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. If Priest wins, Rollins will never challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion. If Rollins wins, Priest must leave the Judgment Day. So, this kind of goes into the Money in the Bank for the men's. Drew's obviously winning Money in the Bank. Drew will cash it in. More than likely, which may not happen, because I don't know, maybe they want to maybe keep things more fresh for the fans, but it's SummerSlam's looming, so they want to kickstart this feud already. Which, I mean, already has, but they want to really get things going. CM Punk, I think, will come out and cost Drew the match. What do you think?
Yeah, that's like the most direct thing that they can do, and what 99.9% of the internet's thinking right now, too, as well, so...
So, do you think it's going to happen during the match or after the match?
I don't think it matters. It really doesn't matter.
Well, I say that because here's why. Because Seth's in the match, and then, Punk cost Drew the match, and then, that kind of...
I got Damian Priest winning.
Okay. All right, I guess that makes sense. Oh, yeah, and I forgot, because Gunther is going to challenge whoever the winner is.
Yeah, exactly. I got Damian Priest winning.
Okay, so... I would have chosen Seth, because I would think Seth and Gunther would be the better money matchup, but I don't know if they're...
I agree 100%. But you can't have Damian Priest... If Damian Priest loses, what's his next route?
Yeah, you're right. So...
If Seth... They'll figure something out for Seth, for sure. Whatever it is, like maybe it's a one-on-one match against Braun Breaker for the IC title. Maybe, I don't know. They could probably do something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. But I got Damian winning.
So do you? I'll ask this question after I get my prediction. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Damian because it seems like Damian. They don't want to take the title just yet. They want to wait for that big match at SummerSlam. And they want to give Damian essentially his moment. And I think Damian's kind of found his own somewhat. I guess later in this title reign. Like, he seems like he's more comfortable on the mic. And
I completely disagree. Completely disagree with that. He's been great, like, in the backstage segments. Like, in the backstage segments, he's been doing great. Matches are great. He's having great matches, but the actual one-on-one promos have not been the best. There's some that's been okay, but like overall, I think it's been I don't think it's been up to championship material for me.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, Punk is going to cost Drew the match. Right. He's going to screw Drew yet again, and that sets up SummerSlam. So there we go. But yeah, Damian Priest will win. Seth Rollins. You kind of brought up an idea. Maybe Seth can go after Braun. Do you think, not to say that Seth is going to be like mid-card level, but do you think for a while maybe Seth isn't going to be in the main event picture?
I mean, he'll take a step back.
Yeah, kind of like, I guess like Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels would kind of like sporadically be in main event matches, and then he would do like mid-card matches with like Chris Masters, just to kind of put over younger talent. That's what I kind of mean.
Take a step back temporary. I mean, he'll be back in the mid card, in the fall for sure.
Right. I mean, again, there's no shame in it because it's happened to everybody. Seth is, for the longest time, Seth was in that main event picture, and now there's other guys in that main event picture. So I'm pretty sure we'll get Seth and Gunther sometime down the line, maybe at Mania, or I don't know, but we'll see. But that was Money in the Bank. 5 matches, and should be a pay-per-view that's going to be ending before 10. So thank God, because we love those. NXT HEATWAVE will be... What the fuck? NXT HEATWAVE will be this Sunday. It will be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, as well as it will be in the Scotiabank Arena like Money in the Bank. And so far, there's 6 matches, which that sounds about right. There's a pre-show match. It's weird that there's pre-show matches on NXT. But anyways, Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. Was it Ava put Petrovich and Ariana together? So why not? I'm guessing I'm guessing the heels or the faces are going to win.
Yeah, the heels. I got Jasmine Nix and JC Jane.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's JC. Yeah, I'm Team JC, so I'm going with JC. All right, so first match on the main show, you have the tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase University, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson, with Riley Osborne and Thea Hale.
Got the champs retaining.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go with champs retaining. Even though I'd like Chase U, but I don't think they're gonna win. Singles match for the NXT North American Champion or Women's North American Championship. I'm sorry, Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. This should be a fun match.
Yeah.
You have 2 very talented women that are over with the crowd, but Kalani's gonna retain.
Absolutely agree.
Sorry about that. Last chance match for the NXT North American Championship. If Femi wins, Lee can never challenge for the title for as long as Femi is champion. Oba Femi is the North American champion versus Wes Lee. It's a last chance match, so it can go either way. I don't know. Do you see them taking the title off of Femi?
Not with this particular stipulation, no, because it says if Femi wins, Lee can never challenge for the title as long as Femi is champion. It's not saying that Lee can never challenge for this title again, period.
Yeah.
So I think that Oba will, wherever he loses, eventually Lee can, be able to challenge again for a title.
All right. There's a backstage bit where Wesley, said, I might have some help in Toronto because I'm a rascal at heart, and then did the rascals thing. So, I would love to see Nash Carter back in some form or fashion, reuniting with Lee. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my official prediction, I am still going Lee.
Right.
I'm still going Lee, but I'm just saying that, I think the safer pick will probably be Obafemi, but I'm gonna go with Lee on this one.
I'll go with Obafemi. The TNA champion Moose put out a tweet basically telling Femi, I'm coming for you. Tell your boss Shawn Michaels to talk to my boss, and we'll set up a match. So, whatever it means. Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship: Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. I don't know. I don't see them putting the title on Lola this quick. Even though she's been here for a little, less than or not maybe, but less than a year, and people love Lola, for reasons or different reasons. But yeah, I see Roxanne winning this match.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mean, it could be Lola's best match, more than likely.
Yeah.
Roxanne's going to work overtime putting her over. So
yeah, absolutely.
Fatal 4-way match for the NXT Championship: Trick Williams, the champion, versus Javon Evans versus Ethan Page versus Sean Spears. Page and Spears are basically just going to be agenting this match, essentially. Trick, I love Trick. He's still a little green. Javon, I love him. He's great. Still a little green. So that's why you throw in 2 vets to basically agent the match. Should be a fun match. I mean, probably might be a little predictable. There's going to be a lot of false finishes and A, B, C, and D, but in the end, Trick is going to win. Javon will probably do some pretty cool what do you call it? Spots in the match. But overall, Trick is winning. He's walking out NXT champion.
Think Trick. I'm picking Trick, but I wouldn't count out Ethan Page to sneak it in and winning. But I got Trick.
All right. Well, that's NXT Heatwave. It's this Sunday. Are you doing anything this Sunday?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're going to watch the show live on Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching the show.
Would you be interested in joining me and Jeff to do a post show?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, this Sunday, the show's going to start at 7? The NXT show, I believe it's at 7. Usually it ends around 9:30ish, 9:40ish. So, yeah. So, yeah, this Sunday it'll be me, Justin, and Jeff to talk about NXT Heatwave. So, should be a fun one. All right, peeps. Do you have any news? Anything interesting to bring up?
There's really no news out there.
And I guess we can skip ratings. Unless you want to talk about ratings.
Nah.
You sure?
Nah. Yeah.
All right, peeps. That is the show. We are done. Happy 4th of July, people. Tomorrow's 4th of July, so if you're having a barbecue, if you're going to spend it with loved ones, please be safe, be careful, and just, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and definitely do what I would do, or definitely don't do what I would do. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, shout-outs to everybody that loves and supports the show, who's friends of ours. Wrestling Soup, Spitball Media, of course, RJ. RJ just had a birthday last week. He's 30. Dirty 30. So, happy birthday to RJ. And of course, our good friend Monty. Monty and RJ just put out a show earlier for Brooklyn Power Trip, which is usually every Wednesday. So, check that out. Ruben, another good friend of the show, good friend of mine. We do our show Culture Attack, which we just recorded one on Sunday. Not sure when it's coming out. Ruben's usually in charge of those things. I'm just in the back, But I need to ask him when that show's coming out. Oh yeah, me and RJ, we do our show Revenge of the Savage Nerds. We haven't put out a new one yet. I've been what I've been doing with our old episodes from Patreon is that I'll just upload it and then I'll schedule it to come out on a certain date. There was one that came out over the weekend, and I just put out episode 3 from the old Patreon today, actually. So check
where
that
you
out.
upload them to?
I upload them here on Spreaker. I just basically put a title and I put what we're talking about, and then I'll publish a date. So it just came out today at like 10 in the morning. So I'll probably do more after I get off of here. I need to do the ones that I did with Jeff too, our Garden of Droom episodes. But and I also need to learn how to do those reels that Ruben was doing for the show. So just to kind of get the word out there. But anyways, yeah, Spreaker is the home base. Anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, it's all out there. Just look for me. Look for the experience. Oh, sorry, it's the food coming up. But anyways, Justin, talk about Spinebuster Tees.
Yeah, Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com. Come and get your merchandise t-shirts today on spinebustertees.com. I know it's the 4th of July tomorrow, but you can still go on my website and get the USA men's t-shirt, which is a throwback to the crowds and the Southern Territories and the Northeast and the West back in the 70s and 80s for those good old patriotic matches that we all remember. Also, as well, we've got a Star Ratings t-shirt, taking a dig at Mr. Dave Meltzer, the pineapple Pizza Hill Heat t-shirt, the Vanilla Midget t-shirt, Future Endeavor t-shirt, Pro Wrestling is Real, People Are Fake t-shirt, the WrestleMark t-shirts, and many, 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 many others on SpinebusterTees.com. Also, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. You can follow me there to see everything in the latest and greatest things I have at Spinebuster Tees. at Wonderland of the Americas. Come visit. If you're in Texas, come visit Antonio, Texas, Wonderland of the Americas, Crossroads Mall, open 5 days a week. And you can come see all the beautiful things I do have in shop, including t-shirts, action figures, trading cards, autographs, vintage magazines, literally anything and everything I will have in shop. So Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
Right, heard it here first, people. Spinebuster Tees. If you can't make the trip to San Antonio, there's a website, and you can get everything you want. My boys got you covered. All right, all right, people, we're done. We will see you next week, same time, same channel, and yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say, people. Have a good 4th of July, and peace.
Peace.